Oh.
Hello.
So there's nothing.
Hi, come in.
Wow.
Nothing.
Thank you. I'm wearing my CD or LP shirt, depending.
Can you just help me again?
Nine?
Yeah. That's what I have there.
Yeah. I think so. Where to?
9.
Okay. That,
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
There.
Mm-hmm.
This one too complete. Sorry.
A little bit more to you. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Should I play them a song that you hate?
Okay.
Doesn't
It's
sound
not that he
good.
hates it, he just
Not too loud.
That sounds
Not too
rough.
loud.
Not too loud.
Was it loud? This is Texas.
It's okay. You're not alone. Come with me into the unknown.
That's way down. It's lower.
It's okay. You're not alone. Come with me into the unknown.
Okay. Any suggestions?
What to play?
Yeah. Go Bella Fleck?
Yeah.
I have a question for you though.
Yeah.
At what frequency is the bass turned into being everywhere? And on non-directional is what I'm trying to say.
It never does.
No?
Never. You lose your ability to key in on it to some extent, but there's
Because of the wavelength.
Because it sounds like I'm getting a lot from these.
Yes.
right.
Am I?
Yeah.
So it's also producing the
But
lower
the funny
frequency?
thing is, if you turn the bass down,
Yeah.
it sounds like there's no bass coming from this.
Okay. So
Let's do it quickly.
So this is augmented with a subwoofer.
Yeah, somebody else asked earlier to turn the bass down, yeah.
I'll tell you what, let's go to that song. And I'll turn the bass down.
It's okay. You're not alone.
So I'm gonna take the bass and turn it to 0.
this is to your sub.
Yeah.
Okay.
So no bass from the sub.
I understand.
I take back what I said. It'll happen in single digit or low tens of hertz, but you're not talking about what electronics can really do.
Okay, no bass now.
It's okay. You're not alone. Come with me into the unknown.
Gosh, makes a big difference.
That's
yeah.
amazing.
There's an eye opener there.
Yeah.
I
Can we
believe in,
please play another song?
I believe in horn bass like I believe in the Bible.
Oh goodness.
I'm serious. And you know I believe in the
Yeah,
Bible.
bass.
Right?
This room wouldn't hold horn subwoofers.
Say again?
You wouldn't be able to put horn subwoofers in
Got
here.
one right there.
This is a horn sub.
Horns up.
Is a true bass horn?
True bass on sub.
Oh yeah, let's take a look.
Yeah.
So everything here is horn loaded.
The whole thing is, this is a horn, this is the smallest commercially available horn loaded subwoofer in the world.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a horn sub.
Tell them about your history with horns, when you started, about your program that you've written.
Yeah, so like I'm used to true like the avant-garde horns.
Oh really? Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, that's what I was thinking of for true bass horns. So what are you doing differently here?
This is completely avant-garde. They write at about, I think, 60 hertz.
Mhm.
So they cheat their system. But what they do is on their system, they explain how long the horn is.
Mhm.
But if you know how to calculate, you can actually calculate how deep this thing is horn loaded.
Mhm.
So I think they horn load down to about 70, something like that. And then right after that, they use two drivers. They go, so after, let's say 60 hertz or 70, 80, I don't know. After that, it's not horn loaded anymore. So the bass rolls out. So they use like a digital system, so it boosts the bass. It's a very, very, very low bass. It's not, so those beautiful big curve things that you see,
Mhm.
it's not a true horn. It's horn loaded down to like, let's say 60 or 80 hertz, whatever. And below it, it's a normal subwoofer. This is a real horn loaded subwoofer, horn loaded all the way down. Now this thing, if you measure it, goes really, really deep. It wasn't designed to go, I have a minimum standard. So like for instance, one thing that I put my foot down, I will never build anything that cannot do at least 50 hertz. At least 50 hertz. Because if you look at the bass guitar and all that, it's about 60. So if I do 50, it's fine. So this was theoretically designed to do 50, but it goes way deeper than that. But it needs to be placed in a corner, 19.5 inches out of the corner.
Okay, to get some reinforcement boundary.
Actually, the corner completes it.
Okay.
So this here, that, and
So
this,
essentially, you're using the room as part of,
I'm
Yeah.
using the corner. I'm
Okay.
using the corner.
which is why you can do it a little bit smaller. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot smaller because I don't have to build that. I don't have to ship that.
Okay.
The customer don't have to pay for that.
but they just need to place it a little bit more
Yeah,
finicky to
yeah,
place
yeah.
it.
But the other thing is also, like, if you don't have a corner and you have two of them, you can place them facing against each other, or you can place them side by side facing towards the wall.
Okay.
You can actually, if you have an open air venue, you can have 4 of these, 2 side by side, and opposing to them 19.5 times 2 this way, so they fire to each other.
Okay.
So yeah, that's. I have a program that I've developed over the last almost 30 years that predicts what the system will do. So I can calculate exactly what the system will do, and based on that. But never mind that. Over these years, as I design horns, I would go back and I would measure what I've. So it would predict it's going to hit here, and I can go back and measure and see exactly. So if I need to do a 5% or 30% adjustment, so my program over the years, I have adjusted for windage. You can say like that.
Okay. Well then, I guess, including the room, you got one of the biggest subs.
Yes. Yeah. It's the efficiency on this thing is 106.5.
Oh, really?
watt.
Okay.
And these guys, I think, if I remember, it's like 101.5 dB at 1 watt. So I'm running this system with 3 watt.
3 watt, little 3 watt amplifiers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's one of those things like, but you know, it's been a process of prayer, you know, that's, because the thing is, if you start developing into a direction that nobody else has been before, you can't pick up the phone and call somebody or pick up a book and read what somebody else did, because it doesn't exist.
Right. So you're kind of avant-garde in a different way.
Yeah.
Avant-garde the horn, you're doing avant-garde design.
Yeah, avant-garde is, it's interesting, like I say, but they don't horn load all the way to the bottom. And to me, I've listened to some of the regular avant-gardes with the subwoofer underneath.
Yeah.
And to me, the moment that the male vocal goes into that sub, it pulls and it changes tone.
Right. It pulls a sound stage too, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, but not only that, if you look at the speed of the horn, then the moment that you go in the sub, I don't care how high you turn it up, it can't keep up. But the problem is, here's the big problem. The problem is in the transient response. That's the problem. So if I would tap any material that you tap, with cymbal, whatever, the difference is in the 3rd and 4th harmonics. Okay, so something like a cymbal, let's say 100 hertz, 200 hertz, 400, 800, it's doubling of frequency. So a cymbal will, let's say for instance 100 hertz, 200 hertz, first harmonic, 400, 800, 1600. With something like wood, these higher harmonics will be held down. So the thing is, if you take a sine wave, this is 100 hertz, this is 1000, you combine them, you get a wave that looks like this. So a lot of people think a speaker does this. It doesn't. It does this. That's what it's doing. So if I would give you a barbell, okay, here's a 10-pound barbell, I want you to take this and go between my hands as fast as you could. You're gonna go like this. Now take the same barbell, go as quick as you can. You're gonna go like this. So as you reduce the amplitude, you can actually keep up. Now that's the benefit of the horn. Once you put the thing in a horn, you reduce your amplitude, which will actually allow you to do that 100 hertz and the 1000 hertz all together. See, but the moment you go to a regular subwoofer and you don't have the horn loading, this thing actually had to go 50 times or 100 times further the distance. And because of that, it doesn't have the transient response. It maybe has it on the majors, but not on the minors. There's another interesting thing. So if you look at speakers, speaker suspension, like right here in the neutral zone, that's the softest part of the suspension. Now the suspension is always fighting against the amplifier. Now if you take something like let's say 1000 hertz note, okay, the amplifier sends very little power to move that, okay, but let's say you have a bass note, let's say you have a 100 hertz note, it sends more power. But the moment that you take this, let's say 100 hertz, and you push it to the speaker, it's pushing this 100, but right on top you have the 1000 hertz. So the further you go off the neutral of the speaker, the harder the thing to push back. So the speaker's suspension pushing back, especially the spiders, gets higher and higher and higher. That's why the more that you can take a speaker and operate in the neutral range, the better it sounds. So if you don't horn load, you go outside of that and you start getting these long excursions. And that's why it's impossible for it to keep up.
Plus distortion too. You know.
Distortion, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah. Like I say, this system is run on 3-watt single and 2 amps, full range. This is not even.
But the
rated.
sub is powered,
Yeah,
or
the sub is
with a separate amp.
yeah, 250 watts,
Okay.
which is like nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, even this driver is basically brand new. We bolted this in, was it last night? Yesterday. Yeah. I had a kid babysit our dogs while we were on vacation.
Uh-huh.
And so I said, yeah, no, you can use my system. So, and I said, just keep the volume down. And, you know, I think it's like letting a kid drive a Corvette.
Yeah. No.
So I came back and I was like,
Broke.
okay. Now it was still working, but it's like I
He
think.
let the smoke out.
No, I don't think it let the smoke out, but in the speakers there's a mechanical integrity. That's the reason why, like with this one, I use a special coating on the driver just to stiffen them up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but on my bigger horns, I have ones with 12-inch and 15-inch woofers. Those woofers don't stand up. They don't keep up. What happens with them is in the beginning they sound amazing, and then a week later it's just they collapse because the structure of the paper inside the cone it can't, with all the flexing. It's 2-3 days and the bass starts sounding off.
Really?
So I switched over to a thick aluminum cone.
Okay.
And this thing holds up. I mean, you can pound the living daylights out of it.
Interesting. Okay.
The only question now is if the house can hold up.
Yeah. Or this window here, if you crank it, yeah.
Now, this is okay. Like I said, we still have the wall is still intact.
Yes.
In my house, I have a friend. He does these granite countertops,
Yep.
and he told me he's got lots of offcuts.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna line my corner with granite at the house.
Oh, put
Yeah.
granite in the corner.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes sense now that you're using the actual room as
Yeah.
part of your horn loading. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes total sense. Okay. Cool. Appreciate you explaining that.
Yeah.